With that being said, one last thing that I do want to touch on is the dark side of MMA had reared its, no pun intended, but its ugly head this past weekend at Bellator, with the injury to Cyborg. And I just feel as if that is just as scary as a broken orbital bone, which is we see often. But the gruesome images of Cyborg Santos's skull fracture, it really hits me. It really, really does hits me emotionally, because we watched a guy's career end. I would really doubt that he will ever. Now, am I putting a hex on him? I definitely don't believe I am. I think I'm speaking the truth. I don't believe, and I don't put any fault on Michael Page for his technique or for what he had done. I believe that we saw the end of. I believe we saw the end of Cyborg this past weekend, and
so sad.
That's true.
It is sad, and I don't think it's far from the truth.
And for everyone who doesn't know what's going on, Michael Venom Page just fought Cyborg this weekend, and he did a flying knee, and it cracked his forehead right here. There's literally a dent in it, and I'm pretty sure what you're trying to say is they released a statement on it. Is that what happened? They released a statement on his condition right now?
Well, yeah, let me not paraphrase. Let me just go straight over to Combat Sports Nation, and then I'll pull up, which I will say the original release was through MMA Junkie, which I did link in my story. That's one thing that I always make sure I do. As a journalist, you want to always make sure you're citing your sources. A lot of times I'm just releasing the press releases as I receive them, but I always cite the sources. Unfortunately, I see it too often that companies will go ahead and blast out press releases as if it was their own, and they don't cite where they originally got the information from, and it's very disappointing. So I did go ahead and cite the source, which was MMA Junkie. They originally reported the statement, but the statement was as follows. Let's see.
And just before you get into that, you read that, this is very important that they let everyone know how this fighter is doing, because it's not just a show, guys. This is someone's life. He has a family. And his career could be ending. That's what he relies on for money. And that's a huge problem about being a fighter, is like, what do you do afterwards? And we see this time and time again, like, where are they now? So I really hope that he is all right, and I really hope this isn't true, but I'm very happy that Bellator did release a statement, because we did have problems with this in the past. When Dada and Kimbo fought, we couldn't really get them to tell us what was going on, but, they're making changes. That's good to see. What does that statement say?
So, I'm just going to tell you a little bit, a short paragraph of it. If you want to go to Combat Sports Nation, you can go ahead and read a little bit more about the GoFundMe page. It's got the link there. It's got.
And where can everybody find you on Twitter before you do say that, so they can find this?
It's CMBTSPRTS Nation on Twitter. It is in my feed. You can also go on Facebook. It's in the feed there as well. I could link it to this to the podcast once the live stream is done. But I wasn't able to put it up in one article. I summed it up. I really put it in there to where it shows how it happened. It shows the damage while Santos is there inside the hospital, both the X-ray and him sitting in the hospital.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
Originally posted on Christine Chris Cyborg's his ex-wife's Instagram, and then I also put up in that same article. The article was where it really put together to it's sort of a one-stop a link of what everything had happened, including Michael Page's expression of how he wished the best for his fallen opponent's family and his health, and he also made a contribution
to the GoFundMe
and blasted out the GoFundMe.
I was about to ask you if you put that on your page.
I did put it on there, and there was, hands down is the management company for Michael Page, and one of the largest contributions to the GoFundMe was $500 from Hands Down, and I can only assume that was the actual management company of Michael Page. So he's doing his part. Everything counts. I mean, don't think it sounds. It might sound cliche, but even if it's a $5 contribution,
he has children to feed, he has bills to pay, and he put on this show for everyone to entertain us.
Yeah, and we're talking about a guy who risks his livelihood to do something that he loves for the cheers of the fans. So now all we're asking is the fans is to do their part and to show your appreciation of him putting his life on the line. I mean, look, this isn't over. I mean, this guy is hoping that he can leave and go to Brazil to further get this injury taken care of, but he can't even fly. So who knows? You have that machine to where you clean it up and then it starts to act up. Who knows if once they start to repair the skull fracture, what is it going to do? What is that fracture really? Is it holding anything in place to where if it's moved, there's brain damage? Who knows?
And we have so many questions. So if anyone wants to find out any further information, make sure you head over to combatsportsnation.com, and there'll be all the links, everything that you need to know. Please help Cyborg out. He puts this on for us to be entertained. So thank you so much for bringing that up. That's very important because these are real people. They're not just in the box like we're in the box. They are real people that dedicate their life for the sport, and it's hard to make a living after your prime, really. Which is in your 20s, 30s. It's hard. So thank you for coming on the show and letting us know that. To review everything that happened on the show, in case you tuned in late, this is where we're pretty much going to wrap everything up. I just want to let everyone know what this episode was about and what you might have missed if you tuned in late. We covered the Bellator, we covered Brock Lesnar, we covered John Bones Jones, we covered Holly. What else did we cover? We talked about a lot going on in MMA, the Bellator, what Bellator can do to put on better shows, lion fights, World Series of Fighting. We covered it all, man, every square inch. So thank you so much for coming on. I'm Evil Eddie from Pure Evil MMA and ProWrestlingAuthority.com. Just to correct everyone, you were saying this is the podcast, but this is actually a webisode for Pure Evil MMA. Right. The podcast, guys, is on iTunes and Podbean.com. So make sure to head over to iTunes, and if you don't have Apple, that's fine. You might have a Droid, so just go to Podbean.com and search Pro Wrestling Authority. Pure Evil MMA is right there every week, keeping you up to date. I'm always trying to, like you were saying, just keep it comfortable. Just hang out, get updated on all your news, discuss, different ideas. So whether you're waking up, morning commute, you're at the gym, jogging, tanning, Pure Evil MMA, ProWrestlingAuthority.com, CombatSportsNation.com. Thank you so much for dropping by. One more time, though, you guys can find me you can find me on Twitter at evil_echo. That's EVIL_ECCO. Subscribe down below. Sean, can you give everyone where your tags are really quick?
Yeah, again, it's Combat Sports Nation on Facebook. It's CombatSportsNation.com. is also Combat Sports Nation on YouTube. In addition to our Twitter, which it is growing. It's CMBTSPRTS Nation. We update most events. If we're not updating, Evil Eddie is definitely updating. And we appreciate everybody's support. There is one thing, Eddie, that you don't mention. Eddie recently started a Facebook page.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead. Twitter is a great tool to be able to go ahead and get all information immediately. But his Facebook page is really going to be able to provide you with his content.
Forgot about that, man. Yeah, I just started that.
So if you want to read how he perceives things, absolutely go to Twitter. He's very active there. I'll plug you there. But also his Facebook page is where you're going to be able to find a lot of his links, a lot of these podcasts, a lot of these episodes. And
yeah, one place to find it all. Between my Twitter links, the videos, everything meets right there on Facebook for everybody.